civil rights and LGBT groups are coming out in force to voice concern over Eric Dryban, President Donald Trump's pick to head the Justice Department Civil Rights Division. The Washington office of the ACLU said Dryban has, quote, a history of restricting civil rights and has made a career going against women and LGBT rights. Vanita Gupta, who led the department under President Barack Obama, who now leads the Leadership Conference on Civil Rights, said whoever leads the crown jewel of the Justice Department must have deep relationships with stakeholders and marginalized communities and have a deep, abiding faith in our nation's civil rights laws. Eric Dryban is woefully unqualified to lead the Civil Rights Division. Critics cite Dryban's career as a D.C. labor attorney, where he defended numerous corporations in worker discrimination lawsuits, including R.J. Reynolds Tobacco, Bloomberg, CVS Pharmacy, and Abercrombie and Fitch. The White House defended Dryban in a statement saying the White House judges nominees on the merits of their character and not on the clients that they once represented as counsel. Mr. Dryban is highly qualified to run the Civil Rights Division. His nomination hearing is scheduled for July 23rd before the Senate Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions. Todd, when you say it, they say, oh, no, he's qualified.
Well, we judge people based on their experience and based on the job that's at hand. The Civil Rights Division touches almost every aspect of American life, from enforcing laws to protect us against employment discrimination, protect our voting rights, as we've just been talking about, ensuring education equity, and making sure that housing discrimination doesn't occur. We need someone who has the breadth and depth of experience in all of those areas, as well as someone who is committed to all of those areas. Eric Dryban lacks the commitment, certainly, and lacks the experience that we need.
Ralph, folks have been saying that they want to, the 45 people, that they want to get rid of the Civil Rights Division eventually. So to put somebody unqualified who knows nothing about civil rights law in charge of it is a precursor to really getting rid of this very vital part of the Department of Justice.
Ralph?
Well, I would disagree. I think he is qualified. There's no question that he's qualified. And the fact that you're going to use a lawyer's past experience using his past clients as an indictment against him, that's very, very dangerous.
Okay, Ralph,
how is he qualified, Ralph?
What is his civil rights history? What is his civil rights background?
When you say, I mean, I don't know his background. I can't. I mean, you're talking about specifics.
But if you don't know his background,
no. I know. He is a lawyer. He is experienced. He is a experienced trial lawyer.
So you telling me that if somebody is an experienced real estate attorney and they get nominated for this job, it's all good?
He has experience in the business sector, in employment, in discrimination, in all of these areas.
Let's talk about.
He's qualified.
Todd, let's talk about those experiences. The Abercrombie and Fitch case you mentioned, he represented Abercrombie and Fitch in the Supreme Court. Unfortunately, he lost 8-1 in a case where Abercrombie was pushing a policy.
8-1.
Yeah, in the Supreme Court, pushing a policy excluding a young woman who wanted to work at Abercrombie and Fitch and excluded her from employment simply because she was wearing a headscarf. In this day and age, with all of the allegations of discrimination against our Muslim brothers and sisters, we really don't need someone who's going to further divide us. 2 years ago. And he also worked shortly after his time at the EEOC as general counsel to undermine the EEOC's enforcement priorities. And you know, it's not who he represents, it's what he's doing in that job. I'll give you another example. He testified against the Lilly Ledbetter Act, which, by the way, opens the door for equal pay for all Americans. So he has a wide range of experiences undermining civil rights in the context of employment. And all the other areas that the Civil Rights Division enforces, he almost has no experience. And when we talk about voting rights, which is critical right now, we need someone who actually is going to stand up for the rule of law, is going to stand up to this Justice Department and stand up to this White House and say no more.
Ralph, he does stand up for the rule of law. And as an officer of the court, he stood up for the rule of law and represented his clients who are, all lawyers lose, and represented his clients to the best of his ability, because everyone in this country is entitled to legal representation.
Ralph, I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to ask you again.
Representing his clients.
Hold on. Ralph. He's not being vilified. We are pointing out specifically his record or lack thereof. What is his record in the area of civil rights that gives you comfort that he is going to be a defender of civil rights in the United States?
Because he looks at the law and he argues the law for his clients based upon the law, and he is not an activist.
So, okay, Deborah, go ahead.
I have a serious problem as an African-American woman with dry band. He doesn't have the passion for the areas that would provide equitable value for all minorities in this country. And so if it's okay, Ralph, if he has a degree and he has the right to be an attorney, but there's a different element that must be within the person that's going to head up the Justice Department of the United States of America. He has to have a passion. He has to have a fight, a drive in him, and his record should exemplify that to make the American people feel comfortable with him heading up the department.
But we should not have someone going into any office where we can say, oh, he's going to be on our side 100% of the time, and that's the only qualifier that we want.
That is not
we want him to fight for this, and this, and therefore if he doesn't do that, he's not qualified.
I think he needs to be on the right side of civil rights. And 8-1 Supreme Court said in Abercrombie and Fitch, you're on the wrong side. That's bipartisan determination. I think context is important here too, Roland.
Who's the one?
I don't remember. May have been Clarence, but I don't remember.
I don't know.
But I think context is important here also, right? We have an administration that has basically put before the president or with the president an advisor who supports white supremacy, to be perfectly honest, misogyny, xenophobia. We have an administration that has appointed people who are, if they're not outright hostile to civil rights, in the case of Jeff Sessions, are woefully ignorant of the civil rights laws that they're going to be enforcing in the case of Secretary Carson and Secretary DeVos.
Right,
we need someone who's going to be able to, as a lawyer or anyone, who's going to be on the right side of enforcing the law. And this is a bipartisan statement I'm making. We have the Bush administration, the Reagan administration, people who have actually experience enforcing civil rights laws.
But
this person does not have experience, the broad breadth of experience, and what experience he does have has been on the side of undermining civil rights laws, despite who he's representing.
All right, Ralph, final comment.
But lawyers represent clients all the time that they don't personally agree with, but they are hired by the client to represent them.
Okay.
When you work at a law firm and the client comes in and needs representation, it is your duty to represent that client to the best of your ability,
you're right.
Even if you don't personally agree with that position.
Ralph, you're right, but still, Julian, one second, but there still is no evidence of him having any concern with regards to civil rights. Oh, and by the way, y'all, yes, in the 8-1 Supreme Court decision where they ruled for the woman in the headscarf, yes, it was Clarence Thomas who dissented. Shocking. Just shocking.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.